that moment where you have 35,000 things on your to-do list, and one of them is your health? It could be that you're not having enough sleep, and so you need more sleep, and you're lacking energy, and you're crabby, and you're rageful, and you're anxious, and you're frustrated, and you know what things you need to do, but it's the least pressing thing, because in order for you to reclaim this and for you to do what you need for your health, you would have to disappoint. Do you have that moment of just deep people pleasing, that moment of making sure everybody else is okay? Well, reclaiming yourself and reclaiming the sovereignty in your body starts with acknowledging that you matter. And so you might notice throughout these presentations that I speak at a pretty slow pace. And I will use a different pace throughout it. But part of that is important for you to be able to regulate while we have this conversation. And most of the time, when we are learning, we go really fast because we just want to get to the end of the information and solve the problem. But it makes our body very unsafe. And our goal through these trainings over the next 3 days is going to be for you to be able to claim sovereignty back. And to do that, you must feel into the body. And so we're going to begin now with doing so. I don't use PowerPoints, so if you are watching the screen, great for you. There will be only a few times that you probably have to see what I'm doing on the screen. Outside of that, you can feel free to focus outside of the screen if it is easier for you. But I encourage you to stay focused and to get what you can out of today when you want to restore sovereignty over your body through regulation. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Leslie Irvis. I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer and a nervous system expert. And I will start my story with the fact that I pushed myself harder than many people, probably from a young age. And it would have started when I was in high school. The first few days of entering high school, I had a friend who sat next to me in all my classes tell me that I was too fat to play or too fat to hang out with. And right before that, I had had my softball coach tell me I was too fat to play softball. And so within less than a 5-day period of starting my college or high school experience, I was told I was too fat. And I remember going to the mirror and opting at that moment that my 5'7" athletic frame needed to be 5'2" and petite and skinny. And so I spent my high school dying to be skinny. And it didn't end when I got to college. I decided to barely eat any food, and it helped me to lose the weight that I wanted to lose, but I didn't know how to maintain that. So I then went into a crazy amount of exercise and pushed and pushed and pushed to a point where once upon a time I was working out about 4 hours a day. And I really pushed my body to the max. I pushed it, not listening to any clues inside. And that remained for a long time. I didn't eat well. I drank a lot with friends. I pushed my body. I exercised a ton. I barely got enough sleep. If I got 6 hours of sleep, I was doing pretty good. And I wore my body out. I remember continuing to push. I remember trying to push to do that before I got married. And then I remember continuing to push, even postpartum with my daughter. And it was probably postpartum with my son 2 years later that I realized that the push was not good. I would love to say that in 2020, when he was born, that I stopped the push, but it took me a few more years until I figured out what was really happening in my body. So why I'm here educating you all is because to restore sovereignty into our midlife body, we have to begin through regulation. And regulation of ourselves is absolutely key. And so I want to start with a regulation activity. So I'm going to take you through an activity, and then I'm going to explain why and how it helps you to regain sovereignty over your body. So this is my clue for you to look away from the screen, okay? And right now, all I want you to do is to feel your body, okay? If you're standing, awesome. If you're sitting, awesome. But I want you to feel your feet on the ground, if they're attached to the ground. I love to, when I say that, I take off my shoes and I really attach my feet to the ground, especially if I'm outside. And feel your butt in the chair and just do that. You can keep your eyes open. You can look at the screen, you can look away, whatever, but really feel your body being supported. You are supported by the ground underneath you and this chair. And then I just want you to take your eyes and I want you to imagine placing them back on little pillows or baby hammocks in the back of your brain, just allowing the world to come to you instead of like, I'm going to stare and look at the world. I want you to allow the world to come to you. So place them in the back of your head like little baby hammocks, little pillows, and just gently but intently look around the room. If you have a window, go ahead and look out like I'm looking outside the window that I have over here. I just saw a bird fly through the tree. It was beautiful. If something catches your eye, stay focused. See what it's saying. Is it a texture? Is it a color? Is it an image? Is it like, wow, never really looked at that tree before? And really just allow yourself. And now it's really cool if you can connect the fact that your feet are on the ground and your butt is safe in the chair while you scan your environment. Just feeling that peace and that calm in your body. Doing both at once, of I am seeing these things and I am safe and steady in this chair. And then just adding, noticing where your breath is hanging out in your body today. This isn't change your breathing, exhale, inhales. This is noticing where your breath is in your body. When you can connect, feeling safe with your feet on the ground and your butt in the chair, and your visual, while you use your breath for support, you are multitasking orienting. And I'm going to teach you some basics here around why this is so important. But I want you to just feel what it feels like to be in this space. And if you're having anxiety, frustration, maybe it's even annoying how I'm talking slow. Maybe it's even annoying how slow you have to look at your environment and you're thinking, why don't I have the time? I don't have time for this. This is too much. She's super boring. Let me hit 2.0 speed. You're speaking my language because it's that I have to rush energy all the time that can be the reason why you're having all these other weird things happen. Not enough sleep, feeling rageful, feeling anxiety, feeling depression, getting autoimmune diseases, having issues with your gut. All of these things can break down because our nervous system is offline, and we're going to talk about that today. So when we begin to regulate our bodies and we reclaim sovereignty, we get to bring it all online. I'm here to safely tell you that I am 39, soon to be 40 next month, and I am at a very healthy weight. I am in control of what I'm eating. I am in control of how I'm living. I have control over my exercise. I am no longer pushing, and I am very, very healthy. And I want the same for you. I have anxiety. I have rage. I have all of the things, but I know how to help myself with them and bring my nervous system back to calm. It is not having the anger, the rage, the frustration, the sadness that needs to go. Those emotions are okay and safe to have. They need to be felt, but then they need to have the support to move through them. So let's talk a little bit about orientation and why that helps. And to do so, I said I don't have a PowerPoint, but I do have a support book. Um, I love books, and I hope you do too. But one of my favorite books right now is called Anchored by Deb Dana. And in this book, I'm going to very much refer to this graph that she has in here. I'm going to use a couple of her pictures here. But this will be a graph that I refer to a few times, and I will make sure that you can see the graph, okay? And then I also want to just discuss, and so let me actually tag that page, okay? So that way I'm not flipping back and forth too much and not able to help you guys, okay? And then we're also going to explore the vagal pathway, okay? Which is the picture that you see here, okay? I love Dana. I would encourage you to go get her book. I will make sure that I write the book in the comments so that way you guys can go grab it if you would like to. But I want to discuss orientation, okay, and really what we're doing, okay? So as you will see here, okay, there are 3 different pieces to our nervous system, okay? We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up, okay? And so the bottom part of our nervous system, which has been there the longest period of time, is called the dorsal vagal, okay? I want you to think about this part as responsible for freeze or fawn, which when you learn about the history of this, way, way, way back in the day, okay, the first fish that were around had this dorsal capability to freeze and be quote unquote dead, like think an armadillo, play dead in order for, it's the armadillo that does that, right? I think so. I don't remember which one plays dead now, so I could be wrong. It's a possum. It's a possum. See, my midlife brain sometimes forgets, and so I apologize. Working on that too with the right amount of things in my life. So the possum plays dead, right? And that is our freeze response. Now, that dorsal system is also responsible for our nutrition, our digestion, our metabolism. Okay, it really helps us to do that. But it is a system of shutdown. It has its function to keep us regulated and moving, to help us digest and help us metabolize. But it also comes in to dorsal vagal when we're just going through the motions. Do you ever feel like you're just going through the motions? When you're drained of energy, when you're disconnected, when you've lost hope, and when you want to give up. Now, when we're here in this dorsal experience, okay, it can look like being tired all the time, giving up on things, having an off gut, not being able to eat certain foods, maybe developing an autoimmune disease or something along those lines. And why is that? Because when we've gone into that key of not giving our body what it needs, it freezes. And when it freezes, it can't metabolize as well, it can't digest as well, and it can't do the normal bodily functions. And so if it's not able to do that based on what's going on in our bodies, we need to bring it back online. What you're doing through orientation is helping you to do so, and we're going to get there. But let's move up one level, okay? So that one is the longest withstanding piece of our nervous system. It is responsible for those freeze pieces, and it is responsible for that. Now, if this sounds like you, this can be a lot. So all I want you to do, one of the things I do when I get overwhelmed and learning like, oh, well, I do feel like I've lost hope and I'm disconnected and like I'm tired all the time. And yeah, I have some weird gut things going on and all that stuff. I bring my hands and I place them on my heart and I just remind myself I'm safe. Sometimes I'll do that, close my eyes, I feel my feet on the ground. And it might even bring tears to my eyes or cause me to be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is me. Oh, I cannot believe this is me. But I'm safe. I'm okay. I love myself. I didn't know. How could I have ever helped myself to learn the things that she's saying to me today when I didn't know? I didn't know. We cannot change the things we didn't know. And so I'll remind myself of that. And breath. I'm going to drink a drink of water. All right. Then I want to move up to the sympathetic. Okay. The sympathetic nervous system is what helps to control our heart rate and our lungs, our breathing. Okay. So I want you to think about this as like fight, flight energy. Now, this came on a little bit later in history, and it was as evidenced in a fish that then could run and swim away really fast to get away from being caught. Okay. And so that's fight or flight. And that's really cool. Love fight or flight. All right. Fight or flight is great. Obviously, it does so much for us. But that system of fight or flight, this sympathetic part of our nervous system, is a system of action. It's filled with chaos, mobilized to attack, driven to escape, anxious, angry, The best way I have to think about this is that, when you are so overwhelmed and the to-do list is crazy and the house is a mess, you got 35,000 things to do, and you just start screaming about how dirty it is, or like frustrated, or like, I'm gonna angry clean, or I'm gonna get so overwhelmed, and like the emotions build up. This is fight or flight. This is our body anxiously and ferociously trying to get out of here. And here's the thing, back in the day when we developed fight or flight, we needed it to mobilize from the saber-toothed tiger, to mobilize from these things. However, we don't need it anymore. We're trying to mobilize from our screen. We're trying to mobilize from the dog, the cat, the whatever. Not true. We're trying to mobilize from our to-do list. We're trying to mobilize ourselves against what we're here to do. And it becomes so chaotic that our breathing is off, our blood pressure can change. Low blood pressure is actually a sign that we're in a little bit of freeze, whereas higher blood pressure, normal blood pressure, can symbolize we're in our ventral, which we'll talk about. But when our heart rate starts to quicken, our breath starts to quicken, and we're in this fight flight energy, that is telling us that we're now bringing ourselves into that sympathetic nervous system. And it's important that we know when we're there. Now, last but not least, we have the top piece, which is the newest piece, the ventral vagal. Okay. The ventral vagal is the system of connection. It's what helps us meet the demands of the day. It connects, it communicates, it goes with the flow, it engages with life. It is us coming back to what I'm going to call our baseline. Our baseline was us as a baby learning from our parents how to do that. And so sometimes we don't adequately get even the baseline because our parents didn't know how to teach us to regulate ourselves, to bring ourselves online. So a baby is actually borrowing their parents' nervous system. So the nervous system gets wired through our parents. And so if you're already thinking into your history with your family, I want you to, again, place your hands on your heart. Your parents are great people who just didn't know, right? Um, I love to believe that we just can't know what we didn't know, and that sometimes we're really just living the past, as we were taught and we thought we had to, and that we didn't know any better, right? And so allow that to be okay. And then let's come back to orientation. So remembering, focused on that connection. My feet are on the ground, my butt is in the chair, and I'm just looking around and enjoying the view, feeling my breath support me. Reminding myself I'm okay as I drink another sip of water. Now, orientation. How does this tie in? Why is this important? Because when we can focus that our body is safe, our breath is good, and our vision has nothing scary, we cultivate safety. Safety is needed in the body. In order for us to bring ourselves out of dorsal, that shutdown, that freeze, in order for us to come up even higher into our world of fight or flight, we've got to orient even more and then bring ourselves back to normal, lack of that, just out of fight, flight, or freeze, into what I like to call the happy, peaceful, blissful, everything's going to be okay moment. To get there, we use this tool. So I remember learning this tool from Irene Lyon, whom I love. She's a wonderful person to follow and to learn from. And I remember thinking, this is so stupid. What am I doing? I'm doing what? And then I understood. As chaos ensues and the car almost cuts you off, when you connect to your butt in the seat and your hands on the steering wheel, and the wow, oh my gosh, thank God, and I feel the breath in my lungs, and you get yourself there, and you play it out in your head of like, thank God I went that way and he went that way or whatever, you allow that to release. You let it go. You let it go. Just like Elsa says, you let it go. And orientation is a way to bring your body back to safety. It stops your body from thinking it's still in fight and flight. And if when we were a child, we were never regulated or taught how to get back to, there's no tiger in the woods. I'm just chilling here at my desk talking to you guys, talking to the thousands of you that will watch this live video, talking to all the people that will watch this and see, oh my gosh, I get it. I see it, right? This is all I'm doing right now. There's nothing to be in doubt, fear, worry, extreme anxiety, or stress. And as I can bring that, I'm going to what they call increased regulation or increased capacity or anything, where we give ourselves a wider range of being at peace. So I want you to, just for the next 30 seconds while I take another drink of water, think about anything that has made you mad, frustrated, anxious, sad, rageful, angry, any emotion like that today. Just today. What has happened? When you think about those, did you remind your body you were safe after that? Did you come back into your body? Did you talk to your body? Did you reorient? Did you allow your body to be with you and reminded it was okay? See, what can happen is that we can fail to remind our body it's over. And so we remain in a fight, flight, or freeze, which is important for us to understand because all of these systems go along our vagal pathway. And as you see, the vagal pathway is through the entire body. And here's the thing. If any part of that is not working efficiently, that's what can start us down digestion issues, autoimmune disease issues, health issues. And these things come on even more when we people please, when we are constantly making sure everybody's okay, never regulating ourselves. I used to think that everybody else had to be okay because once they were okay, I could be okay. But now I understand that if I'm okay, they get to be okay because I am cultivating safety in myself and they can borrow from me. So part of the reason why I do something called the Have It All Mastermind is because through this program, I help others correlate to me, my nervous system regulation of my health is always on my side. My body's on my side. I always have great nutrition. I always have a healthy body. I can always move my anxiety. I can always be at peace. And so as we come into this container that just holds us to really be regulated and loved, we're able to help. And a lot of us didn't get co-regulation as a child. So to teach ourselves regulation becomes hard because we don't even know when we're dysregulated. It's hard for us to go to like, what is dysregulation? How do I get there? How do I know what dysregulation even feels like? And we're going to get there. But so orientation and connecting yourself to these things is going to help you to bring yourself back into the peace of your body, into the ventral. And as you do it more often and more often and more often, you're going to expand the capacity and allow even less to tip you over the edge, to allow even less to mess you up, to allow even less to knock you in the wrong direction. Okay. So as you can do that, and you can be like, oh, it's just a to-do list. It's always there. Oh, you mean I can actually learn in the Have It All Mastermind too, how to make the to-do list shorter, make it something I can tolerate? Oh, you mean that I'm a woman and I cycle on a 28-day cycle? And so that means that I might actually have days in the month where I actually just need to sleep more is normal? And that It's to expand and open up so you can just let it in, baby, and breathe it in and allow yourself to feel so at peace. Oh, I just want to cry because I know what it feels like to have everything always setting you off and how that compounds into all these other health things and how it stops you from having sovereignty over your body because you feel like it's not even your body anymore. Somebody else has it. Somebody else is claiming it. The doctor gets to tell you, you have to follow the medications. You have to go get all these things when you don't. All you have to do is come back into the peace into your body, come back into the sovereignty. And when you come back, you can feel it and be in alignment. And the tools that we use in the program of the Have It All Mastermind and the tools that we use in this live video will help you. The orientation will help you. While it seems so simple, the more you do it every day, throughout the day, through the small things, the more you're going to allow your body to know, oh, so that to-do list that just set me off is actually nothing. And so I'll see it, and instead of seeing it and going, oh my gosh, look at all the things I have to do. I don't know that I'm going to get it done. I'm already through the roof, blah, 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 blah. I am going to be able to look at it and be like, okay, okay. And that increases our tolerance. It opens us up. It allows us to have more. And by allowing us to have more and regulating that, we bring our vagus nerve back online. We can digest, we can rest, we can eat, we can decrease these other things that are going on. And it's absolutely amazing. And I want that for you. Okay. So I'm going to take another drink of water. And I want you to try this activity. Sorry if you hear my little kids talking in the background. They just got back from bowling. And I'm just going to let them be there. And we're going to have fun. But what I want you to do to learn what your body is really telling you is place your hands back on you. Okay. Feel your heart beating. My heart rate is actually at a wonderful pace right now for doing this live video to thousands of you because I know that the words that are coming to me are the words that you need to hear. They were given to me by divine oneness, God, whatever you need to know here. And I'm hearing that right now, cultivating safety might be just this, placing your hands on your heart, reminding yourself you are safe. And there is no tiger in the woods. It's not the to-do list. It's not you. It's not anything. And there are so many times that I will hold my hands here and look at the wall ahead of me. Sometimes I need to take a deep breath and remind myself I'm safe. There is nothing to run and hide from. And when I want to hold sovereignty over my body, and I'm sitting in a doctor's office, and I have the doctor telling me, here's your options, A or B, and I hate both, and my heart rate starts to elevate, and I start to have all these other things going on, I start to really notice, like right now, with all the yelling going on in the background here, that I get into a fight or flight. Oh my gosh, I've got to get out of this situation. I have to be gone. It has to go. And so I can't make the wisest decision in the doctor's office. So to claim sovereignty, I can orient, I can place my hands on my heart. I can tell the doctor, I'm going to need time with this. I'm going to need to see what it feels like in my body. And that's where I love to move to what I call somatic work, which is your brain and your body are always connected. Believe it or not, your body is talking to your brain 80%, and your brain is only talking to your body 20%. And so with that being said, our body does hold the score. It's another book. I do recommend it if you're okay with a little bit of trauma and a lot of extra exposure because it's a hard book to read. Or When the Body Says No is a great book by Gabor Mate. And both of those books are absolutely fabulous. But in these books and what I do with people in somatic work and in the Have It All Mastermind, I'm feeling called to just drop below the somatic work training for those of you that are in this group, and I'll give you a link for 50% off to grab that somatic work training that just kind of discusses this, but it allows your body to talk to your brain so you can know what the body is saying. Asking your body to tell you what it needs. Does it need this medication? Does it need these hormones? Does it need this? Is this something you can help? When you can hear your body, you restore sovereignty, but we can't hear it without this work. So in somatic work, you take time to pendulate back and forth between your body and your brain, and it's really allowing you to hear from within. And so I encourage you today, for those of you that watch this, listen again and understand. When you want to reclaim sovereignty, we've got to come back to bringing our entire vagus nerve back online. We want to bring this into its whole piece so we can be communicating, digesting, resting, metabolizing. If you're having problems with weight, if you're having problems with digestion, if you're having autoimmune issues, it can be severely tied to this and your body trying to tell you no, but we missed the regulation from the beginning. So how can you test when you go from a regulated state to dysregulated? I want to do that real quick before we finish. So I want you to, again, just orient, feet on the ground, and looking around your space while you feel your breath in your lungs. I want you to feel the calmness. Feel the calmness. And then I want you to just sway your body to one side, just so gently. Like as you saw, I barely moved, just slowly sway. And notice where you get to a point where you start to feel your muscles engage. Maybe your heart rate quicken a little bit of like, oh, am I going to fall over? I got to tighten it up. When you start to feel that engagement, you're moving into dysregulation, which isn't bad. It's okay to go to fight, flight. It's okay to go to freeze. We need these things. They help us. They're vital. We just have to come back. So a simple movement like this, where we can just feel like we're, oh, okay, I'm tipping over. I've got to engage those muscles. I can feel my breath start to quicken because if I keep going, I'm going to, have to keep myself lever. And I feel it. Feel my body telling me I need to change something. Why? Because I'm moving into fight, flight, or freeze. Okay. My body's moving into I'm unsafe. I must save myself. Now, here's the thing. All of this can happen in your body like that, from the to-do list, from the doctor, from the medications, from scrolling Facebook, from scrolling Instagram, from being involved in these things. It can happen just like that. And so every single day, when we're encountering these things that are happening and we're not helping ourselves come back to regulation, we're not going to help ourselves get there. And it's going to be really hard for us to do. So that's why we orient. That's why we do. And many people say, but isn't this where deep breathing comes into play? Honestly, no. While it does regulate our breathing, it, does not mean that our body has been able to efficiently communicate to us. It doesn't mean that. That's a different thing called the vagal brake, where it can help stop and start us. And most of us have our vagal brake working very efficiently. Okay, we can talk about that in a different one. But this is important. So for those of you that watched me live, thank you. I really appreciate the thousands of you just giving me your time and helping yourself, truthfully, because this is all for you. I'm proud of you, and you need to feel proud of you for taking the first steps here. And I know that this video will land with who it needs to land with. And I am going to drop the links and the names of those books below. Okay. So that way you can look at them if you'd like to. I will put a special coupon here solely in the Facebook group. So if you're watching a replay anywhere else, You won't see that, but in the Facebook group, you will get that 50% off of that somatic course for you just to learn that little bit. And then I also just want to comment under there for you to ask me questions, comments, anything like that, because these are the tools. And we're going to build on this so we can regulate the safety in our body and regulate what's really happening within us on an everyday basis, because this is key to us cultivating safety, increasing our tolerance, and allowing us to be more present and with ourselves so we can reclaim the sovereignty over our body, so our bodies can start talking to us, so we can reclaim our health as we age and go through midlife and all of the things. So I will put those links below. I encourage you to come back. I will be live again here the next two, well, not tomorrow, Tuesday's off, but Wednesday and Thursday, I will be in here again at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you in the Facebook group participating, please feel free, like, share, comment, ask questions. The more engagement, like I said, I am going to give away one session for free that will happen in November with the person who is most active with all of this information. And we will do a somatic work session fully from beginning to end. So would love to have that be you. So remember to stay engaged. If you know other people that could benefit from this, invite them into this training, into this Facebook group. Invite them to come hang out with us so they too can feel this in their bodies and come back to regulation. And so before we end, I want to do one more time of orientation where we just feel our feet on the ground. We place those eyes back in the back of the head on little clouds. We scan the room slowly and surely, focusing on anything that calls our name. Remembering that sovereignty over our bodies gets to start with regulation. Our body can't efficiently communicate to us when it's not online. When I was younger, I didn't know that the reason why I kept breaking my feet was because I was overusing it. I didn't know that the reason why I got a massive back infection was because I was overusing it. I didn't know that the reason why I had a cyst on my vocal cords because I was overusing it. My body couldn't talk to me. And now in midlife, as it talks to me more and more, I can see and feel the most subtle shifts that others don't just yet through regulation. And that's the key to holding the health for our bodies.